Hi guys, it's Sam and I'm back with another video for lawnfawn. Today I'm using the new All-Star Stamps and Dies, the Stadium Seating with the pop-up platform die, the new All the Dots 6x6 paper pad, and then all the mice. Love Poems, Really High Five, You Autumn Know, Virtual Friends add-on, You're Just My Type, Dandy Day Flip Flop, Virtual Friends, and then I also end up using mice from Bubbles of Joy and Scootin by. Phew! I mean, look at them. Look at all the mice there. And you might be thinking, Sam, how do you possibly use all these mice and images on your card that's maybe doesn't have as much area as a regular card or even a slimline card especially? And the answer is I don't. And I'm using all the mice. But honestly, I didn't know which mice I wanted to use. I didn't know how it was going to look at the end. I knew the idea I was going for with the card. I just didn't know the exact positioning and which mice to use. So I stamped and colored all of them. Luckily, I don't make you sit through it because they're all colored the same. I just used 2 shades of gray and a little water to pull out the dark shade, and then while the image is still damp, I put the dark shade back on and pull it back out with the lightest shade, and that's how I colored all of the mice. The trophies were colored in my usual yellow colors, which is a brown for the shade, medium yellow to draw it out, and then like the really lemon yellow, and then water to blend it all together. And that's how I colored both trophies. And I colored the football. I think the football is what I do next. Yeah, the football with 3 shades of brown. So I start with the medium shade, use a little water to pull it out. Then I go in with the dark brown in where I want the shaded areas, pull that out with the medium, and then pull it all out with the lightest brown. And that's how I color the footballs. For the stars, I didn't really know how I wanted to use them on my card yet, but I knew I wanted them to bring in some more pops of color. So I used a bunch of different shades of pinks and reds, and I just mostly used 2 different colors per star. So the darker shade in the corner, and then the lighter shade to pull it out, and then the water brush to pull it out finally. And that's how I colored all of the stars. And that is a really super fast coloring of all of my mice. All right, let's get into the meat of this card, which is the platform pop-up die. I die cut the biggest part twice from the new All the Dots paper pad, which is not dots, but then I'm using Distress Inks in Mowed Lawn, Twisted Citron, and a little bit of pine needles just at the very edge to add some shading. Then I am going to splatter water on top, and I'm also going to splatter some of the ink color itself on top. So I'm just smushing it on my craft mat and using my paintbrush to splatter the dark and light color and add the texture, because this is, like the grass or the field of the sporting event that they're on. And then I'm going to use the same colors with the grass die cut from the platform pop-up set, Mowed Lawn on the bottom, Twisted Citron on the back. I thought I only needed 2 different pieces of grass. I actually end up needing 4. So I'm going to do that 2 more times. I don't think I do it on camera, but then I die cut out the T shape 3 times, and now we're going to put it together. I'm using my bone folder to fold along all the scored lines that the die, imprinted onto the paper. And I'm going to do that for both pieces of the platform die. I struggle a little bit with the second one. I don't know why, but it's really easy. And once everything is all scored and folded, I am ready to put the platform together, basically. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm also folding the 2 of the 3 T's and trimming the last T along the score line, and we'll get to that in a minute. So I added a little bit of adhesive to that top part of the T, and look, this is what not to do. Don't do this. Do not do this. Bad alert. I forgot to fold the platform itself. I just put it down flat. So I lifted it back up. I'm going to add some more adhesive and then look, fold up the platform die, press it down, fold it up again, press it down. Okay, one more time, a little bit slower. I'm adding tape to underneath where the score mark is on the T. I am putting it through the slit that was die cut, folding the top score line and pressing it down, then lifting it up like a step and folding down the last flap. And that is how you do both of them. Then I'm going to attach adhesive to the side flaps. I am going to attach adhesive to the short fat part of that T, and then I'm going to line it up underneath one of the, doesn't matter which one of the platforms. Then I'm going to add adhesive all along the rectangle of the other platform, line up both platforms perfectly, fold the flap over, and then fold the whole thing over like a sandwich and tuck in the other flap. And there you go. The platform is done. I did not explain this correctly or well, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And also in the intro to this die set when it was first released, Kelly Marie does the beautiful, fantastic job of explaining it correctly. So I am taking my grass. At this point, I only have two. I'm adding one to the center part. I am adding another one to the front. And then I'm like, oh, I guess I didn't think I needed one for the back, but then I decided that I did. So I am going to cut and color two more, but I'm just showing one here. Grass, I'm going to put it in the front so that it's a nice little field that pops up. And then I'm going to be able to attach the stadium seating, which I love that die. I die cut it from some silver foil paper. I'm just using some lawnfawn glue, and I'm going to attach the bleachers to it, which adds a little more dimension. And then I'm going to use the same glue to attach it in front of the middle grass area. And it fits perfectly. It's almost like they know exactly what they're doing. I love it. It looks like they're literally at a field. And so now we're going to heat and emboss the sentiment. I just took the I'm Your Biggest Fan sentiment. I am heat embossing it in white onto some black licorice cardstock that I die cut with the fancy wavy banners dies. And I'm going to heat emboss that. Not 100% sure where it's going to go, just like I don't know where anything's going to go at this point. But that is it's all going to come together. I die cut out a ton of these little foam fingers, and I love them. And then I was just like, which one fits better, the big hand on the mouse or the little hand on the mouse? I end up using the big hand. But I didn't know at the time. And so I'm just adding some ink color in abandoned coral and dried marigold, and also a little bit of picked raspberry on, I think I do 4 or 5 of these foam fingers in various shapes and left hand, right hands, so that I can have some to work with when I go to put my card together. I also end up stamping the number 1 on the stamp set onto the foam figure, the big foam fingers, because I think that's hysterical. Especially since the sentiment is all about being your biggest fan. I put this little mouse from Virtual Friends, like he's hopping out of the trophy, and I think that's adorable. The rest of the scene goes together really easy and quickly because once you have the platform pop-up done, it is like, oh, that's the hard part. So I'm just adding some of the mice to the stadium seats. I'm adding some in the front. The glue, I'm using glue, no foam tape on anything. I wasn't sure what to do in the back or where to put the sentiment, but I end up putting the sentiment right in the front so that it's one of the first things that you can see. And I do decorate a little bit on the sides as well because, the card does go all the way around. So I put that little mouse there with the little foam finger, and I had a little trouble figuring out which finger worked better, like, for which paw. And these stars, which I think are a perfect addition, I just kind of put all over the card in various places. I put one on the trophy, on some on the sides, and then on the back I ended up putting the other trophy I colored with the Love Poems mouse sticking out of it, which you'll see in a little bit. And then I'm literally just playing around, seeing what looks best and where, and that really is the card. I love the dimension. I love how cute these mice are and how they're cheering. Um, and the striped paper is the perfect one to, like, make it feel like a football field. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you next time. Bye.